Hi guys, I am Brooke and this is Pippa hiding right behind me. We just went on a walk and she has already decided to not be in the video today, I guess. But we are full-time travelers and have been on the road in various types of rigs over the last couple years. But this time around we are in a 2011 Honda Pilot. I have been living out of this Pilot since I bought it back in September. And I have decided recently with this car to go for some different kind of upgrades that I was looking for before traveling out east. So if you guys don't know, most of the time I was traveling before in my Honda CR-V and was staying mostly out west, but with the new car I really wanted to break it in and see what the East Coast had to offer. So I decided to do a few things to upgrade my experience to be able to travel on the East Coast, because camping out here is very different than camping out west. And so I decided to do a couple things and I'm just going to talk through what those are. So the first thing I decided to upgrade were my window covers. In my Honda CR-V, I had to make a lot of my own window covers because a lot of them didn't quite fit and there was nowhere to really purchase them because that car was a 2004. And so I didn't have the option to get WeatherTech window covers. So with this 2011 Honda Pilot, after I bought it, I immediately went to WeatherTech to see if they had my set on there, and they did. So while I'm going to be talking about WeatherTech, this is in no way sponsored by WeatherTech at all. I paid the $207 and some change myself. These window covers are pricey, but let me tell you, they are already one of my favorite upgrades I have made. They are kind of a one-of-a-kind item because they are custom window covers that have silver on one side and black on the other, so you can use them as window shades, and they laser cut them to fit your car, specifically make and model and year, to be able to fit in the windows so they don't fall out. One of the biggest struggles on the road is obviously having your windows covered so you can sleep at night, and also them not falling out in the middle of the night. I was having a lot of trouble with my window covers falling out, which is why I eventually just tinted my windows super dark. And while that was probably illegal, it did fix the issue. So if a window cover did fall out while I was sleeping, if I didn't have any lights on in here, nobody could see me. But on the East Coast, I'm having to park more stealthy, and my window tint is not as dark as it was because I have not had time to tint my windows. So with these, it really helps just keep me a little bit more under the radar. They hold their shape a lot better than my old window covers, which is probably why they don't fall out of the windows. But at the same time, it does make it a little harder to fold them up and store them. So I have had to separate them throughout the car, which is totally fine. So I keep all of the front window covers in the front so I can reach them really easily. Whenever I just pull into a spot, I can throw all of them up really quick. And then I do the same for the set in the back. Because my windows are tinted a little bit darker in the back, it gives me more time to hop back there and then just put those up before I go to bed. The only other drawback I would say, other than like the storage of them, because they are a little bit more bulky, is that the black side I really wish was not shiny. If WeatherTech is listening, I really wish you guys would have a matte black option for the black side. I know that it's probably not something that they've like considered or anything like that, but matte black obviously doesn't reflect then under like Walmart lights or security lights or things like that when you are sleeping. Obviously, if I'm just parked on a dark street, you can't really tell, but if there is any light in the area, you can tell, especially in the front, because my windows in the front are not tinted, that you can see that there is a cover in there because of that shiny black material. So I just wish it was more matte, but I think eventually I will either just get my windows tinted, hopefully soon, or I will, if I start running into issues, I'll just take like a matte clear like spray paint and probably spray paint them to matte them out a little bit so it's not so obvious. But those are the only drawbacks, and everything else I have loved about them. Now, I haven't spent a summer with them to see how heat reflective they are, but on days like today where I have the sun coming in really strong from one side of the car, they do a really great job of reflecting that sunlight, and they like are hot to the touch, so I can tell that they're working and they're doing what they should be doing. And since they are a little bit thicker than even Reflectix, they are a little bit more insulating, because I've noticed even in some of the colder nights that I've stayed with all of my windows covered, I have not been as cold in the car, which has also been a plus. The next item I have decided to upgrade is to get a tire pressure monitoring system. I have struggled with tires kind of behind the scenes a little bit, and haven't really talked about it a ton, but between driving on tons of back roads and then driving out east with a bunch of construction sites, I have had more nails in tires, scares about flats, everything like that in the last like year that has been kind of frustrating to deal with. If you guys don't know, I get my tires usually from Discount Tire, so everything is really fixable and really easy to do, but I get really frustrated when I wake up in the morning to a really low tire or a flat tire if I could have known the night before just to stop into a shop. So I do want to thank Guta for sponsoring this portion of the video and partnering with me and helping out this channel and me to send us a tire pressure monitoring system, so we don't have that issue anymore. This system is super easy to install. I actually had a very similar system to this when I had my very first rig that I got on the road with, which was a Class C RV that had dualies in the back. So it was really hard for me to be able to tell if one of those inside dualies was flat, and I did have one of these systems. So I have used a similar system to this before, but this one is like super upgraded and souped up, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about it. Like I said, it's super easy to install. You literally just have to put the pressure monitors on where you would fill the air in your tires, just right on the outside. They're water resistant. You don't have to worry about them getting wet if it rains and things like that. And it just sends a signal to the display signal here in the car, so you can see if there is low pressure and see if there is puncture, high pressure, if they're overheating, especially in the summer, or if they have a really fast leakage point to give you enough time to pull over before you have a blowout or to get to a safe spot. So obviously, I am always trying to do everything I can to stay safe on the road, and this is just one of those upgraded measures I've decided to take to be able to have that little buffer of time to be able to get to a shop before they close, before I pull in for the night, to even get myself pulled over to the side of the road before I have like a really intense blowout. And obviously out west, when I go back out to the desert and things like that, I will be able to tell that if I'm super far away from everybody, I know what kind of issue it is before I get too far away from a tire shop or a town or something like that to get help. Now, obviously, I only have 4 tires and my spare, but when I had my pop-up, I was planning on using the system to be able to keep my trailer safe as well. So if you pull an RV, you pull a trailer, you pull even one of those little cargo boxes, if you have a travel trailer, an RV, anything like that, this system can hold up to 24 sensors in its system plus 2 spare tires. So you can have everything monitored. So no matter how long your rig is, how many tires it has, if it has dualies, etc., you will be completely covered. And it does even come with a signal booster, so in case you are too long, say you're towing like a 40-foot travel trailer or something like that, you can still use the system and have that booster so you can see it while you are driving down the road, just kind of to keep your mind at ease and to keep yourself safe. The next item I am so excited that I had like upgraded is not really so much of an upgrade, but I do now have a second one of these, is my Get Out Gear down quilt. Get Out Gear sent me a down quilt all the way back, I believe in like March of this past year, and I have been using it ever since. I love that thing. It is so easy and compact to put away, and I knew I needed another one. So I will admit I totally pulled the influencer card and I reached out to Get Out Gear and I asked them if I could have a second one to have one for me and one for Pippa this winter, because when I was coming back east, I figured I would run into some really chilly nights. Luckily, we haven't run into some super chilly nights, but we have had some cold ones. And to be able to have a down blanket for Pippa and then one for myself in the back, we are living in absolute luxury being able to do that. I just love so much about how compact these pack up, so I can put them away during the day and have them also in arm's reach. So if I do get cold in the middle of the night, all I have to do is pull it out of its stuff bag and fluff it out a little bit and it's ready to go. So the ones that I do have are the Get Out Gear down puffy blanket, and then I also have the synthetic version that is their double puffy blanket. Now that I've had the synthetic version, I do believe that the synthetic one is actually a little bit cozier and a little warmer, and so I do prefer the synthetic one. And so if you are vegan, if you just prefer synthetic, if you have allergies or anything like that, you will just be as warm, and it is double puffy. It does puff up a little bit more. It is a little bit bigger of a blanket than the other one. So Pippa gets to sleep with the down version and I actually sleep with the double puffy, and it works out super great. The last item that I have upgraded or kind of had like a more luxurious purchase, even though it's not super expensive, is to get a screen for my moonroof. So if you guys missed it, in the upgraded 2011 Honda Pilot, I do have a sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to call it. Had no idea that you could get a screen for the moonroof, and it's just a magnetic screen. You can just throw it over the top of the car and it gives you that screen and that little bit of shade, so you can keep the moonroof completely open but not get any bugs, anything, mosquitoes, leaves just falling into the car while you are hanging out. And it rolls up super compact. I love it. It's just something that I want. Obviously, because it has magnets, it's not like a permanent fixture or anything. You can't drive with it on or anything like that. It is just for while you are parked. I feel like in some higher winds, I have some stronger magnet hooks that I could probably use to hold it down if I really needed to. But if it is that windy, I'm probably not that concerned about bugs getting in at that point. They're probably getting swept away in the wind. But I like being able to leave the moonroof open when I'm sitting places, especially on the East Coast where there are more people around. It just makes me feel safer to have the top open, even if it's just cracked at night. It makes me feel a little safer that I can keep all the windows closed on the actual car, and then I can keep the sunroof open or the moonroof open with the screen in to get airflow at night. So I hope this video gave you some ideas for some little upgrades. I want to thank Guta again for sponsoring their portion of this video and helping me out with that tire pressure monitoring system. I'll leave all of their stuff below, as well as all of the products I talked about in this video, but they are definitely some luxuries I have been enjoying, and I hope you guys will add these to your car camping luxury list as well. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!